Before you begin threading your machine, you need to make sure that your needle is in the up position, meaning it should not be down into the machine. It should be completely up. You'll notice on your hand wheel there is a little ridged line right there. If you turn that, okay, all the way around until that ridge line matches up with this little seam line, basically. Okay, that is going to now be in the complete upright position. So this line is matching the line on the hand wheel. Okay, so that needs to happen before you start threading your machine. Okay, at that point you're ready to thread. You have your spool of thread, your spool pin. If it is in the down position, at this point you're going to need to pull it into the up position and place your spool of thread there. Your thread tail should be hanging off towards the left because that is where you're going to go next. Okay, there are diagrams on this machine. The instruction manual also has diagrams to help you do this correctly as well. Okay, from this position, okay, once you have your thread on your spool pin, you're going to go taking it towards the left through this. Okay, there's a little groove right here. That is where your thread is going to come through. Okay, so I would be taking it through there, through that little groove. Okay, at this point you're going to need to take both hands and kind of pull it through. And I always kind of floss it just to make sure it is actually in there. It is actually through that little, it's like a little bitty wire in there if you stand up and look inside there. Okay, you want to make sure that it's actually going through there. That wire helps hold the right amount of tension on your thread. Okay, from there you are simply going to come down this groove. Okay, that's down towards the bottom of the machine. Okay, so it's hanging down right here for now. Okay, from there, adjust my angle. From there, you're going to be taking your thread around. It's going to end up going behind this dial, this tension dial. And again, you're going to want to hold on to your thread, kind of up here. So I've got a hold of my thread here. I've got it down here at the tail, and bring it around that dial. Okay, and kind of floss it. Give it a little floss. Okay, so I've come down through here, around down under here, and it's here. And I have flossed to make sure it is really in there. Okay, at this point, show you close up, you see your take-up lever here, that little metal thing. You're going to have your thread in your hand and kind of scrape it around the outside edges of the machine. When you get to this side, it should automatically go into that take-up lever. Okay, the thread has to go through that take-up lever. Again, it's good to hold both ends of the thread to make sure it really goes in there. Bring it down towards the bottom of the machine. Okay, at this point you are almost there. Okay, so at this point we're going to go through another thread guide and then we're going to go through the eye of the needle. Okay, so here's the end of my thread. It's best to use two hands for this as well. Right up above the needle is a thread guide. Okay, it's below this thing here, right here. Okay, it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to take your hand, have one hand on one side, like you're flossing, basically. Another hand on the other side. Come up over that thing and then pull it around. It'll go through there. Okay, once you get it through there, now it is time to thread the end of your thread into the eye of the needle. Okay, needles and home sewing machines, the eye is facing you. Okay, the hole You should be able to see it from sitting right in front of your machine. You're going to thread this from front to back, meaning you're going to start at the front, okay, and get it into that eye. Okay, once you get it through the eye, whoops, which I did not do, try one more time. Okay, if you're having a hard time getting it through the eye, sometimes you might need to trim your thread. Maybe it doesn't have a sharp enough edge. You might need to lick it a little bit. If you were in class, we have beeswax, which you can actually wax into your thread, and that helps it go through the needle. But once you get it through the needle, which I have done, I'm tugging at the end of the tail. Okay, there it is. Then you want to take your tail, tuck it kind of between those two toes on the feet, that little groove, and push it off to the side. And your machine is now threaded.